In one of my favorite movies, there's a scene where a guy had been separated from his wife by her death and says something like this.
You know what I miss the most? Her farts.
It's funny how in the midst of our everyday lives, we tend to overlook and take for granted the little things that make up someone's presence. Only after your separation, you start realizing how much you cherished even the smallest aspects of your woman with a deep sense of longing. But there's one thing in that famous line I just can't relate to. No matter how much I love a woman, if she constantly lets out gross farts, it completely throws me off. It's like all the love and affection vanish, replaced by this unbearable tension and fear. Now, my girlfriend Alice is drop-dead gorgeous, more stunning than any movie star. But when it comes to passing gas, she's like a walking skunk. I often wonder what's going on inside her stomach, because every morsel of food she eats seems to transform into toxic gas that escapes as a fart. The way she prepares herself before letting one rip is oddly elegant, making the ensuing stench even more dramatic. She slightly squints her eyes and lifts her rear end, almost as if she's relishing the experience. Even when she's yawning, signaling the start of a fresh new day, or looking adorable in the bathroom, or cooking breakfast while saying I love you, or when we're strolling together. Her appearance is so breathtaking that everything else around her feels like movie props. But amidst all that beauty, I had to endure the smell of her farts every single day. It became my secret burden, something I couldn't share with anyone. And since she didn't intentionally make her farts disgustingly foul, I couldn't bring myself to tell her either. So, I suffered in silence, suppressing the urge to gag in places where she couldn't see me. Of course, she had no clue that her fart smell was the most repulsive thing in the world. Maybe it was an issue with her nose, or perhaps she had grown accustomed to her own fart fragrance throughout her life. Despite the fact that her farts could knock out even the toughest skunk, I spent a whole year with her. Then one day, out of the blue, she asked me a strange question. What would you do if I suddenly disappeared? I pondered for a moment whether I'd be relieved to escape her fart cloud, even if just for a day. But my immediate response was that I'd quit my job and search for her. Back then, I thought she must have seen something on TV and it triggered this odd inquiry. But a few days later, she actually vanished. Her stuff was still at home, but she wouldn't answer my calls, and all I got were messages saying her phone was off. When I reached out to her close friends, they had no idea where she was either. After 3 days, I had no choice but to report her missing to the police. Finally, a few days later, the police showed me a CCTV footage of her at an ant clinic. They informed me that she had only undergone a basic checkup and received a prescription before quickly leaving. Apparently, she had been getting treatment for sinusitis for the past 2 weeks. I had no clue about any of this. Why did she keep her sinusitis treatment a secret from me? It had been a week since she had disappeared. During that time, I searched her parents' house and every possible place she could be, but no one knew her whereabouts. I couldn't find a trace. As a result, the stench of her farts, which used to linger in the house, had disappeared, creating a refreshing atmosphere. However, strangely enough, I started to miss the nauseating smell of her farts. It had somehow become a symbol of her presence in my memories. I spent hours in the bathroom, crying and longing for her so much that I ended up vomiting. The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. Deep down, I knew it was her. When I answered the call, I had to listen to her sobbing for a long time without saying a word.
Alice, where are you right now?